Hello. What's good, everybody? It is Tuesday night, and it is time to get into another one. And I couldn't be more excited to get out of the other one and back into this one. And the one we're getting into it with, of course, we got the one, the only Fandom D Saint. What's up, brother?
Yo, what is good, DJ AK with the crew, talking about the crew here. Cannot wait to talk about season 4 of Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, I could not be more excited. What's up, AK Murder Watch? How we doing today?
Yo, I'm here, man. I'm here for this episode. It had all of the things. I am intrigued already. I'm ready to go down these rabbit holes and follow these breadcrumbs.
100%. We got to figure it out, see if we can make it do what it do before they let us know what really happens. Only Murders in the Building, Season 4, Episode 1, Once Upon a Time in the West. And I got to tell you, like, we are back. And I mean, it is so good to just wash the taste of that last one out of the mouth and just get into one that I can appreciate. Woo!
You won't even speak its name.
Oh, they killed it. They killed it. I mean, what they do to my show, we're just going to forget that even happened and just get on to brighter pastures right over here because the sun is back and it is shining out in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
The words of Oliver, Mom, I'm cold. I'm cold.
My man was acting. He was bringing it home. It was good to be back. Oh, it's good to see him all on screen again. We opened with Charles giving a quick history lesson on cinema and home movies. And I was wondering, do you think that adorable little girl on the phone was Selena as a toddler?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
I didn't know for sure, but I was like, that has to be her. I mean, yeah, she was cute.
Yeah, because they used actual footage from yeah. She's been in the game since she was a kid. And all that footage of Martin and Steve, that was all them home movies. I kind of like when shows do stuff like that.
Oh, it was awesome. She was adorable, but that one guy, it looked like Steve Martin, but I just thought that was like kind of CGI. Did they even have cameras?
It could be both. It could be.
Yeah, I'm very sure somebody had an old school VHS, like that's back when the tapes were the actual like video cassette tapes. Yeah, that you had to put into the machine, and also
back in the day,
Beta. I don't remember, but I know they had also I think the competition for VCR was Betamax back then. They had some type of camcorder that ran on that system too. Right. So I'm gonna say 80s. Yeah.
I mean that was in the 80s, and he was pretty young back then. I mean that would have been younger than that. I mean that would have been.
Would it have been? Not everybody looks their age all the time.
But I mean, they did have film back then, kind of, I guess, the little Shutter ones. Yeah, I don't know. Man, I was wondering. That was crazy. But yeah, that was kind of cool to see the old school stuff like that. The crew are wrapping up their latest and final podcast of their series. And just before Charles finished, they have a power surge that caused a quick blackout. And Oliver mentioned that hasn't happened since they banned the old incinerator. And then, of course, we find out much later that it was indeed the old incinerator that caused all that.
It was a second watch. I was like, "Oh shit! They freaking called. What happened to Sam?" Oh man!
Exactly. So brutal. Were you holding out hope for Saz that she was still alive the entire episode up until then, or did you figure out she was dead? AK.
I was holding because it's Jane Lynch, man, and also Saz's character is just awesome. Like all of her vibes are just they always hit. So yeah, I'm very sad to see her go. I thought she was going to be sticking around a bit longer, but it's not like they didn't choose a couple good ones to come in for some more cameos to replace her.
True, because last season they had like Paul Rudd, like we thought he died and then he came back. I don't want them to repeat it where we thought that she died and then later on in the episode she died. So
I don't know if they could have any more evidence than that. I mean, that'd be a pretty weird. I threw somebody else's Bulgarian steel joint and something. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much like CSI evidence that she gone. I don't know if she can come back.
Why the hell you didn't put no gloves or anything on? Like, what?
Oh, was that the most disgusting shit ever? I was dying. I was like, my guy.
Especially it being isn't it they live in New York, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't care what neighborhood the trash is in that city. You don't touch that without some type of protection. I would have went in with a whole hazmat suit on.
That was awful. That was absolutely awful. But when they were still trying to wrap up the pod, I loved how Charles needed Oliver to like cue him up just so he could get those last two words out and then even mess that up. I'm like, it is your name, son. You can't get that right. He said Ben Savage instead of his own name, and then tells Mabel to just splice it in over his own name. So it's like, was that some kind of inside joke that I didn't get that went over my head? Did you understand what that was about?
No, really. I guess just in editing, make sure like once it cut out the first time, just cut it, join in the two sides together, and boom. Should say his like full name.
Because I was like, why would he do that? Like he was saying, and that's me signing off, Charles Haight, and it cut off. And then when he came back, he said Ben Savage. So why did he switch? I don't know. That had to be some kind of inside on set joke that we weren't even supposed to get, because that just makes no sense. You know what I mean? But Sick Charles like invites him up to his place for a nightcap, and then offers his arms so they could like all guess out, walk out like Wizard of Oz style. And of course, Mabel and Oliver are just already out the door. Like, my guy, like, Charles, why are you always so awkward? And please don't ever change.
Again, when they sat down for the rights handoff, like they really described him perfectly.
Oh, amazing. Wouldn't you have some like PTSD though, riding on that elevator? Like, it wasn't that long ago a body just came crashing through the ceiling while you were on it.
I don't know. I've lived in New York apartments,
Talking
them things are tall, and I'm not even talking about the fancy ones. I'm talking about just the regular old plain ones in the hood. Even they have elevators because them buildings be tall. I probably, it may sound heartless, but I probably wouldn't have really batted an eye about getting on the elevator again, because what I'm not going to do is climb to the 5th floor or the 6th floor or anything higher than that with them stairs. Absolutely not.
Is it one
I'm old. My knees can't handle it no more.
What's that?
I think they have two. I think they have two elevators.
So maybe they went on the right one. If they went on the one that thing died, I'm like, okay, maybe. I would have hesitated.
Wouldn't have mattered to me.
I've been looking up. I know that. I've been weird. I gotta say that at first Oliver joke was a little toting the line. I mean, that was a little close. I mean, his and Charles Banner has always been like extremely witty, like in the nerdiest of ways. But that Gilbert Grape line was riding a little too close to the chest in dad joke territory.
Yeah, a little bit.
That went over my head.
When they were talking about names that had fruits, like Daryl Strawberry, and then he had to break in Gilbert Grape. And he's like, yeah.
He would get eaten all the time. Like, yeah. Bro, come on. But I'm glad he came back with that. I would like to retract that. Okay, thank you, sir.
Always eating them. I was like, come on, no dad jokes. You guys are too good for this. I love how Oliver tries to like set it up, like telling us like we need a dead body here or very near here, with Selena speaking like what the audience is very aware of. This is just a giant flaw in our business model. Like, one would think unsustainable, but here we go again. And I don't know. I have the highest hopes that they will indeed pull it off.
It's New York. I don't think anything else needs to be said. Yeah, you're not going to be out of shortage for any catastrophes of that nature.
But it's always so clever how they like interject exactly what we, the audience, are thinking, like into the scripts and like speak on it. Like, I love how they do that. But they get into the apartment and he shouts out, "There she is!" But wasn't talking about Saz. She was talking about the bottle of Malbec. Didn't you think Saz was still going to be there laid out?
I did. I honestly did. Then there's no body. I'm like, what the fuck? There's no body. Like, well, when did she die?
They got me a couple times with these switches. And then after popping the cork, it flew off onto the ground. And when Mabel picked it up, she's like, "Oh, I hope these don't stain," mistaking Saz's blood for wine. Like, that's beyond ridiculous. But for the face of the story, like, I can almost let it slide. But I don't know. At the end of the season, we saw Saz like trying to write a message in her own blood. Like, that would be a lot more than a couple droplets. Like, would the murderer really have been able to clean it up that well, that quickly?
Yeah, I think the murderer cleaned it up. I think they may have to do like some type of, what kind of flashlight is it? Black light or something? Maybe eventually, and then they're gonna see the message. Maybe that's like my guess.
And like, also it's dark in that kitchen with no lights on. Like, did she really notice the little droplets and then see that the blood, like even on the handle, and then not say something? Like, she is part of a murder podcast, for fuck's sake. You're not going to speak on blood stains you're seeing on the handle? I
did not understand that one bit. Like, again, we are in season 4. You're not a rookie anymore. You see some sus looking shit, and you just bypassed it and didn't say nothing, that's outside of her character too. So whoever wrote that part of the episode, I feel like they dropped the ball a lot.
Yeah, that just made no sense to me. And like, also, was the spot of that bullet hole in the window bothering anybody else? Because like, there's no way the angle of that entry hit Saz where she fell. Like the way they panned out, I'm like, I don't know. For some reason, that
it would have to be from somebody's window.
I'm like, there's a wall that comes out, and that bullet was like way over, and Saz fell over here. Yeah, there's just, I don't know. For some reason, when they showed that angle when they panned out, I was like, that's impossible. But yeah, that's just a little detail. Then, of course, we get our like series opening scene, and I was like pausing it and slowing it down. Like, I know it's in here somewhere. And then after about the third watch, I was like, well, I guess they didn't do it for this one. Like, the only thing different is, I was like, oh my God.
The dog is like the only one, right? That's the only thing that's different. And at one point, I was like, wait, it's supposed to be a cat? Like, I was like, why is it a dog? And then literally we learned they ends up getting a dog because they banned him. Oh my God.
So good. Yeah, first it used to be a bird, and then it was a cat, and now it's a dog. Yeah. And I paused it so many times, like, where is it? Where is it? And then realized it was just so obvious in your face. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, that was good. They got me on that one. Were you still looking for that right out of the gate, AK?
I still have not paid enough attention to know what was there before. So that's probably going to be my own little like study project. So I can start picking up on stuff.
One of my favorite parts of the show, seeing whatever clue they're going to drop, because whatever clue they drop is always part of the show. And yeah, the dog, amazing. Absolutely amazing. But I was glad to see Meryl Streep's name show up when they showed the opening edition. I mean, what a great addition to the show. I'm so glad to find out she was going to be back on this season. It was clever how they start talking about a movie Charles is watching that has like nothing but sound for the first few minutes. And then he thinks like what he was hearing all night, but the whistling was actually coming from the bullet hole in his window. Like, how did he not like one or two, but like three murder podcasters not pick up the clue of a bullet hole in the window?
Hey. When's the last time you actually look at your window occasionally? For me, it's like rare.
It's literally right there. Like he didn't even have no curtain over it. The blinds were up.
This is
how do you not see that?
Crew. I mean, they're supposed to be used to picking up on clues and getting things. Not one of them, none of them noticed a big ass hole in the window making a whistle.
What season is it there? Because I'm looking at the poster. There looks like they're dressed for fall, but I wasn't paying attention.
We're approaching Christmas, since they said in the meeting, like, oh, we make sure
the
movie comes out. That's what I'm guessing.
That is even more of a ridiculous thing for them not to ignore, though, because this is a New York apartment. I don't care how nice they look. All of them are drafty as fuck. How did you not notice that cold air was being pumped into your living room?
Yeah, there's a few of them. I mean, you are murder podcasters, people. What is happening?
Exactly.
So again, the show answering in short form questions like some viewers may be wondering, with Mabel walking right in saying, yes, I crashed at Oliver's because yes, I'm still homeless. And yes, this is the least offensive robe he owns. I was like, I just love how they whittle those right into the scripts. That's amazing.
I want his whole closet.
Oh, I just want him. I want him living next door. Oliver's spinning because his Broadway show just got canceled. Cliff and his mother need to use their money for bail and lawyers. Like, of course they do.
Now, what did you expect?
Yeah, right? Like, what did you think was going to happen with that? He's another one who, like, just needs to never change. I mean, just the over dramatic theatrics of it all. Like,
I freaking loved it.
It's the quirks that make them. That's why they all razz each other about their little tendencies. None of them would want any of the other ones to change, and I love that. It just works for their characters. It works and speaks to the chemistry that they all have as actors and as the actual roles they're playing. It's great.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Hey, Lottie, good to see you out there. Good to see you. Oh, yeah.
Hey, my girl.
It's too good. Like my guy said, the room is spinning and literally fell to the floor to bring it home. Like, so good. Like, I've got some drama queen friends, but none that can match his level. Like,
the extra.
Mama, I'm cold. I was just dying. Like then
Bro,
Charles,
if you
good.
I was gonna say, if you open an encyclopedia up to the if drama was a person. His
Oh,
picture is sitting right there at the top,
dripping off the page. And Charles trying to compete with the drama queen to no avail, talking about like, I
bruh.
keep hearing the whistling, then equating it to I might have a brain tumor. Oh,
How did you make that leap?
oh, he's amazing. He's just trying to compete. You are not on the same level, my guy. Like, just step back. As if the comic relief isn't coming on strong enough, in walks Howard with his like latest pet. And first off, who gave this guy the all access pass? He just gets to walk in now, no knocking or nothing.
Apparently.
Yeah.
My guy didn't so much as ring a doorbell, just came right on in. Like, what? And can we touch on the fact that how longer, like you were saying, fandom, how he's no longer allowed to adopt any more cats? He has been put on a list.
I would too at this point. Like, how many cats?
How many does this dude have?
Well, that's
one
one
died previous season, and he decided just to like put it in the freezer. I was like, what's going on here?
Is he just out there murking his own pets this whole time? That's why they've all been dying. Like, is he a serial pet murderer or some shit?
I mean, hopefully the dog will know something.
Oh man, we're gonna have to keep all eyes on this man because I don't know. Like, why are your pets?
The dog runs away from home. I think that's gonna be a clear indication.
I'd be putting him on a list too. That's all I'm saying. But Howard has an idea for a new podcast and is pitching it to Mabel. And what I noticed was that he said his dog was a working dog, but he didn't know what kind. So how later did he figure it out that he was a cadaver dog?
You probably like had to go back for like a checkup or something. They said, "Oh, by the way, he's a this and that." Possibly, I don't know.
Wouldn't they tell you that when you adopt them? At least in the animal shelters out here, any type of history that they may know about the animal, they give you so you're aware of it. So yeah, it kind of didn't make sense to me that he didn't know, but because plot.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, it's just the fact that he specifically said he didn't know what kind of working dog he was, and then later all of a sudden he specifically knows that it's a cadaver dog. Like, what? Did Howard kill? Is Howard the one that killed? And that's why the dog was barking and he didn't want him to be outed right away? Is Howard the murderer? Oh, we got our first suspect. What?
Put him on the board.
Mabel and Charles keep receiving texts from a Bev Mellon, and once Oliver finds out she's involved with Paramount Theaters, he is instantly rejuvenated and says, "Fuck theater." Just emotions blowing in the wind. Like, oh, you gotta love this man. Charles is worried about not hearing from Saz, and then when he says as much, he receives a text, supposedly from Saz. So is Who Killed Saz watching Charles? Like, did they hear him talking about Saz and decide to text him about him right away?
I say most likely.
Maybe.
Because the timing was pretty convenient.
It seemed like the murderer was like waiting for them to leave to then give that note to the doorman to fix that window.
Okay, I like that. And I mean, obviously they can see him in the building. I don't know if they can hear, but they can obviously see because that's where they took the shot from. I love how even Oliver knows it's like the best coast, though. He tells them to pack their bags. We're going to Hollywood, bitches. Like, funny how he's trying to like take the lead, and he's the one out of all of them that nobody contacted. Like, I noticed he didn't get any texts from Bev Mellon, only Charles and Mabel. So, is there going to be anything to that?
I didn't notice that. Huh.
Yeah.
Only Charles and Mabel got those texts. So why weren't they texting him when he's always the one trying to take the lead on everything? So I don't know.
That's probably why.
Interesting. And how fast into that so-called New York scene did you two realize that was a set production?
Of course.
Immediately.
Like, oh
what?
I'm like, what is this like stereotypical-ish here? I'm like, this can't be my show. Then I'm like,
dude,
oh, thank
it
God.
looked like the complete discount playground version of the beginning of A Bronx Tale.
Like, you had to have someone with
like
a
random
hot dog car. You had to have someone with the freaking like Knicks jersey. I'm like, oh, what's going on?
So some random kid being yelled at by his mom, and he has to yell upstairs about him being already busy. Like, now every typical stereotype you would hear about something going on in Brooklyn is that right there.
Oh, the Italian with the newspaper yelling for the cab. I was like, wait a minute, this is ridiculous. Come on,
who yells for cabs anymore?
I was just dying. I was like, this can't be. I was like, to the real New Yorkers, how offensive was this? Like, how just You knew this was a
horrible
set.
down to the accents. Like, y'all, come on, work on your accents, please. Get some linguists on the set.
Oh, that's fantastic. Funny to hear Charles tell Mabel to let them handle the negotiations since they have experience with such things, and then to see his ridiculous, pathetic antics later, like when he thought it was time to negotiate. Oh my God.
4.
Why didn't you just get
4,000.
a lawyer? Talking about 400,000, 4 million, 4 million thousand. That's not even a number. How about you do what that woman said and you just talk to your lawyer and let them do the negotiating?
She is letting you know, just listen up. But what it's never time for is Oliver to be talking about having hot moments around aging starlets' back ends. Like, that was ridiculous. But how ruthless was that movie pitch meeting? Like, the way like Bev was talking to and about them like that, I'd have been like, whatever the number is, you can start adding a few zeros talking to me like that. Like, you did not just call him the turtle-faced unfun uncle. Are you kidding me? Talking about
Every
Mabel being the
time
stuck between two old dudes. Like, you don't talk to potential
Yo,
like
that one
Yeah.
especially. First of all, you're shitting on our friendship, and I don't fucking appreciate that. You talk about my friends. Second of all, you barely know half of anything about any of us other than what you hear on the podcast, which for our personal lives, that's not a whole lot. For every little passive aggressive low key insult that she gave, I would have added 2 more zeros for each one.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Because she was talking about, whatever the number will make it work. Oh, word? Okay, 5 more zeros.
Exactly.
Now
Let's
what?
get it up. Let's get it up. Talking to me like, how? You did not just say
Bitch, you need me here. I don't need you.
Right? You called me. Like when Bev said they already had a cast for the movie, were you thinking like supporting cast, or did you realize like they would already have other actors to play them?
Oh,
I thought
100%.
an
I
actual
thought full cast.
Yeah.
Full cast. They just can't do a whole lot without going through this meeting that they did and getting contracts signed or whatnot. They can't do much else but go through the filming that they can, because legally they could get hosed for that.
But they were like really banking that they were going to sign the rights over because we need to start doing it. We'll start filming like in 3 weeks. So I'm like, okay, so you're really like hoping that they really just sign the rights over like right now, especially with the party tonight. So imagine if they said no in that meeting, like, oh shit, oh the party we did us be filming in 3 weeks.
Everything would be done. Like,
but they must have knew about the whole the murder and the funding being shut down for that play. Like, okay, they probably are like no other choice right now.
Highly possible.
What if they had enough sway to actually be the ones to kill it and pan it and be the ones that pushed it so it'd get closed so they could do this?
Yeah.
I want to bring them
It's
out.
Hollywood. I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh, Charles negotiating though. Just what a fool. Like, listen to this woman. We're not talking numbers here. Lawyers do that and get off the table, my guy. What are you doing? I do wonder what like the life rights they were supposed to be signing off with, like with no numbers in play. What am I signing away? You haven't even given me a number yet. What am I signing away?
Which again is where they should have listened. That woman, and honestly, you got to kind of commend her because she's trying to make sure that we don't get caught up and mixed up on either side at all. Have your lawyers call our people; they'll hash that out. Right now, we're just hearing about the filming and the writing and what's the exact story we're going to tell for part 1.
Feel it. Hey, what's good, Jake? Good to see you out there. It's all too much and too sudden for Mabel. She needs to take a minute. And when she walked out and Charles like tried to spin it as she may want 6, I was on the floor. I was dying. It was like, stop it. Oh, this guy is not letting go. I love it. I am a handmaiden. Oh, what was Mabel like getting so caught up in her feels about though? Because they used to they've used some unpleasant words to describe this girl. Like Bloody Mabel's been called much worse and always seems to have people talking about her. So why is she getting so sensitive now? Like,
it's true though. She's traumatized. Like first season, like her friend dies. Then the second season, a body just end up having her in her place right there, dead. Third season, I'm guessing she broke up with that dude that she was dating in season 3 because there's no mention of him at all. I thought they were going to be a thing. And again, she's jobless, homeless. Like I'll be the same way if someone just told me that. I'm like, fuck. Someone told him about it.
You're about to make a movie with your. I mean, you're about to get paid. You're not going to be homeless or penniless anymore. What the problem is?
That image is still going to be out there, though.
Yeah.
you're paid is what's going to be out there. You're going to have a bank account is what's going to be out there. Like, that's insane. Like, I did not get what she was tripping on.
And plus, it wasn't like earned though. It was just like handed to her. That's supposed to sound like, yeah.
And shout out to like the old school shout outs that the show is always like making us remember, at least like try to learn a little bit about old school Hollywood, like royalty. Because you already know, as soon as Oliver said he had a meeting right over there with, I of course had to like go look that said name up and found out that Robert Evans was indeed a big deal in old school Hollywood. Like he worked on movies like Rosemary's Baby, The Godfather, Chinatown, and a whole bunch more.
But seriously, cocaine in a condom, you have to swallow it or something? Like, what the hell's going on here?
Don't know if those stories were true. I'm guessing they probably were.
No, but I think there were, because I've heard stories from well, one in particular I could say is Pam Grier. I'm not going to tell you what the story is, but you can go look it up. There were issues with her and one of her partners, one Sir Richard Pryor, that had cocaine going in abnormal places that she actually got sick from quite a lot because of him. So yeah, I'm very sure they were putting cocaine in weird ass places and doing some gross things.
Probably. But I love them giving all the old school props, like with their new platform, bolstering the names that like few know about, but everybody should. I think that's pretty tight that they
need to be reminded. Absolutely.
That's pretty sick. I love how Oliver was always saying no pressure to Mabel, as he's literally putting every ounce of pressure he had, like squeezing, hugging her.
Literally leaning on her shoulders and squeezing. Like, sir, can you let her breathe though?
He really needs this break. And so does she. Like, drop the drama and get paid, girl. I'm with him on this one. What are you doing? And what was up with like the dying chauffeur scene? Was that really necessary? Like, it seemed like that was maybe sneaking in an old friend that needed a paycheck type scene. Like, was that at all needed?
I wanted to jump into a vat of Purell listening to that man cough up lungs. Like, I'm not getting in that old ass limo. First of all, that again, where did y'all dig this man up from? Because that model of limo has not been on the streets since like 1983. So what happened to this man in between when he was his driver to now?
Yeah, he's about to pass out driving. I am not getting in that car. That was insane.
At all.
I just didn't get it at all. Like, why do we? That had to just be like, here, let's get him in. A friend wants to be in our show. Let's get him in. And here's your scene. What else was that? Like, that made no sense. I wonder if they had like a major ad deal go a little sideways. Because on the way to Saz's, like right in that scene, Oliver said he had one stop that he wanted to make first. And then in the next scene, we see all three of them pop their heads up out of the sunroof with some form of fast food or another. So I'm guessing that was supposed to be like a major ad placement that wouldn't really pay as much as expected. Because I'd guessed what it was. And then once close enough, like you could really see that, of course, it was In-N-Out Burger that they were talking about, but usually they would get a much bigger exposure and better placement. Like, it almost seemed to me like they were trying to hide the name. Did you notice that at all?
No.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Though.
I mean, yeah, that was definitely going to be a major ad placement to get cash. And for some reason, I don't know. I think that just a deal that went sideways because it was just, I don't think that was what it was supposed to be. See, the way is calling Charles old. That's what the chauffeur scene was. Just another shot at taking at Charles' age. They're all old though.
Not even that though, but like his like connections though. Like, oh, you expect he would have like a better chauffeur thing, but in reality, no.
I like how even Saz's art complex like mirrored Charles. Like the way the front of the archway you walk through, it was just like Anacornia. That was awesome. Poor Charles really did lose everything to Saz. Like, even this little apartment, she took over his lease. Like, I wonder if his girlfriend stayed living there with Saz as well.
Like, no, she's with whatchamacallit.
No, I'm saying originally his first was it his wife or girlfriend? I think it was his wife actually. Ended up leaving him for Saz, and then now knowing that Saz took over his apartment too.
Yeah, you never know.
Is that what you were saying, Phantom?
I think again, I had to like rewatch or just look thing up. Oh my gosh, coughing there. But I think she did take the wife or something, or Julie at one point. Can't remember.
Yeah, they dated the same. Didn't they date the same chick at one point in time?
Well, his wife left him for him. Like that's how he lost his first wife, was to Saz, which is just insane. And then Saz came and took his girlfriend after that. After he ate his breakfast and ate his egg he was making. Just ruthless. Saz taking everything. Just ruthless. Oh man. Charles said how famous the place was, and Mabel commented, like, when can I move in? So do we think she's gonna end up renting a place here and moving away from New York City by the end of the season?
That's literally
Absolutely
what I
not.
thought. Like kidding, honestly.
I hope not.
I hope it's like a Chekhov's gun thing there. Like, oh, you end up living there, but then, or maybe just for this season when they're in LA, they're gonna
Maybe
be
they
at
end up
this
staying at
place.
Saz's?
Yeah.
That would be pretty crazy. What if they end up staying at Saz's? That would be crazy. Ooh, he said Jinx. Whoa, where'd we go? The trio walk into their Hollywood party, and I was like as shocked as Mabel when I saw the cast playing them. Again, I naively thought that they'd actually be playing themselves, but of course they wouldn't. But I'd say they nailed Charles with Eugene Levy, but Eva Longoria as Mabel, and then somehow an even bigger stretch, Zach Galifianakis as Oliver. I mean, yeah, they're both eccentric, but that is about the extent of that.
Exactly.
Holy, what'd you think about the actors they got to play in Phantom?
I was dying when he said like he wanted to be the next Spider-Man or the next blonde and Legally Blonde. So I was like, wait a minute, hold up here.
Legally Blonde, but it's me. Spider-Man, but it's me.
So funny he's in the series when you were just thinking, oh boy, was him from the last
one.
And then they show him in this series, like, the universe just come together. Seriously though, that was great. Like, how about that meeting between Zach and Oliver? Like, are you that little boy from Home Alone? He said, I starred in the second highest grossing comedy movie of all time. Oliver asked if he was Macaulay Culkin.
Hilarious.
You did not just call him Macaulay Culkin. Zach was ready to quit until Bev promised to greenlight one of his wish list projects, which, yeah, his wish list was amazing. But speaking of wish list, still not sure what's going on with Selena's stylist, but can we get someone who doesn't dress her so frumpalicious? Like, what was this green, sparkling, ill-fitting, nauseous disco ball she was wearing? That was awful.
I think we went over this last season, though. There's medical reasons as to why she's looking a little bit of the way she is, and maybe there's some things that she is more comfortable with wearing than others.
There are a million different things in different style. Like, you can have a dress that's comfortable that doesn't look like that. That was awful. Like, take me back to like the 60s or something. She was straight out of like a Vegas Broadway show. I don't know. I did not.
Well, she was going to old Hollywood, so maybe that was the aesthetic.
Yeah, this has definitely got some great cameos, but yeah, I don't know, that dress was killing me. Also awful is Eva Longoria looking at Mabel in the eyes and telling her that they're basically the same age. Like, come on.
That's about when I was your age a few years ago. What?
Come on now. That's just mean. That is just mean. Like, the wish list is deep in this one. Charles gets to see there actually somebody out there that can be more of a wet blanket than him at a party. And I mean, that is saying something. Eugene, what are you doing? And while Oliver is asking Mabel the very real question of what the problem is, why won't you sign the deal? We get the great one herself strolling in, just all fashionably late, looking as stunning as ever. And I'm so glad she's back in this season.
Same.
Like, Meryl Streep is the goddess.
Mm.
I've seen her on Instagram. She looks way better than she does on. Yeah, I mean, it says it fluctuates, but just, I mean, yeah, get a stylist. Oliver had mentioned that he had texted her quite a few times, but she said that she didn't get him. And now that he's about to like ink this big movie deal, she's here talking about "I love you." Are we fully trusting Loretta right now? Because I don't know, her timing seems a little sus to me right now.
I mean, what would be the reasoning of the susness?
Her trying to climb the social ladder. She wanted a job. She couldn't get a job. Then she wanted a job. So she ended up hooking up with the director of the show. Then all of a sudden she leaves him for another show out in Hollywood that's, filming, but we don't know what's really going on out there. We don't know how big of a deal it is. And now he's coming to be the new hot deal in Hollywood. And I don't know. Now she's back saying, "I love you." I just keeping both eyes on her.
I don't know.
I don't know. You suss it all, Phantom?
Nah, not yet.
It's just true love with those two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
pretty
need
much.
more evidence.
But however, with the track record of this crew, I don't know if they're gonna get married though.
Probably not.
Oh. Mabel heads to the bar to get a drink and has a little chat with Eva, and she gets some great advice, which basically tells her to get all that she can now and do what she wants later. So, I mean, that's exactly what you need to do.
Sound advice.
And good to see Oliver hasn't lost his silver tongue. Like, he was just as smooth as he could be with Loretta, making her laugh, being all charming. They seem to make such a great couple. Why do I get the feeling that she is going to smash him sooner or than later?
Could be. I don't know. I can't call it yet. I need more evidence.
She does ask him to move out there, but again, only after hearing about this big movie deal. So I don't know. Like I said, keeping both eyes on Loretta.
No, I don't think only because after the movie deal though. I think it was gonna end up happening because they were talking about their communication. And like I've been calling you, I text back, so it's like at this point they might as well just move.
Well, why did she say that she didn't get his text when he texts like 5 times and they just kind of glossed over that?
There's any number of reasons she couldn't have gotten his text. I'm saying is it slightly sus? Maybe, but I've had times where my phone didn't get messages that people were sending to me.
Yeah, but that
and I would get them like days late. Just wires get crossed sometimes.
Charles is still very concerned about Saz and then thinks he may have spotted her walking out of the party, but no, it was just Scott Bakula, the other guy that she stunt doubles for. He said Saz never showed up for the job with him either, so now Charles is even more worried. Oliver started to blurt out a question, then stuttered and seemed to pivot. Was he really about to pop the question to Loretta, Phantom?
Of course. But then it's like, yeah, most definitely.
Yep.
Loretta turned into the devil in Prada.
I love that.
Oh, Mabel finally has a chat with Bev about signing on and hands her a piece of paper. What do you think was on it, and just how big was that number to make the writer's eyes bulge out like that?
I'm not convinced that it was even a number.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. It's just some random huge ask. I don't know. Maybe buy her an apartment in the building that she doesn't ever have to worry about paying bills on again. Ooh, possibly. Maybe some type of a future retainer for any other shows that may come up that's based on them.
Buy me an apartment
in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Give me a spot at the Arconia. That'd be amazing. Mabel finds Oliver and tells him she has good news, and you just gotta love his over dramatic ass, like ready to act like he's gonna jump over the railing if she had said no. No pressure. Like, oh, I love this guy. She then reveals the bottle of champagne, but before they can pop it, Charles shows up to rain on the parade. And the three decide to head back to Saz's apartment to look for clues, and they see her shrine of broken bones. And while looking at it, they hear a noise from the back. Why didn't they ever go look at it? Why didn't they ever go investigate that noise, AK?
Why are you asking questions where logic should be used?
Just...
We don't bring logic into the story now, bro, because plot. That is all we need to know.
We are in here looking for clues, checking, and we hear this crazy noise. All three of them look up and then just go back to talking. Like, are you kidding me with this? It's
like missing the blood drops in the beginning and not seeing the blood drops and then not saying anything about it. It's all part of the plan. At least that's what I'm telling myself. We'll see. We'll get the payoff later.
Man, yeah, we need to do something. I don't know. Did that bug you at all, Phantom? I mean, they'd hear a noise, look up, and do nothing about it. Don't even speak on it. That drove me nuts. I was like, "What are you doing? What are we doing here?" Yeah, this is as bad as a big old bullet hole in the window and nobody noticing. And while looking on the desk, Charles finds a whole slew of clues and no idea what any of them mean, but edited to see like where they lead. Can't wait to see where any of these end up going. Did anything on that desk, like other than the Hawaiian hula girl's boobs, stick out to you, AK?
Not really. I didn't commit too much of that to memory.
I couldn't make heads or tails of anything on there. How about you, Phantom?
On the desk or just the whole apartment?
on the whole apartment, sure, but mainly on that desk, there seemed to be a whole slew of clues on that thing. Jake says he's going to figure out this show before the crew. Not if you go episode by episode.
Okay.
I still think that the killer was not present in the LA scenes. The killer was like somewhere outside. Was still back in New York. That's my guess. Because the way how the call happened, it's like, oh, I got your note today. So it's like, did the killer leave the note? Did the accomplice left a note? And there's gonna be like 2 people who did the murder.
He could have paid somebody.
I think.
Yeah, so it's one or the other.
Well, what if it's more than 2 people? Like this is the 4th season now. These guys have made a name for themselves through this podcast. You know, that people saw the buzz and are already into making their story and buying up all the rights to their story, hiring some of the best actors to play them in character form. So what if it's some random syndicate, maybe too strong of a word, but maybe they've acquired some a rogues gallery that for whatever reason just doesn't like what they're doing, solving murders with the podcast, and now there's a bunch of people going up against them, moving through the shadows and setting all this crazy shit up. Tinfoil, I know, but it'd be a cool twist.
That's taking it to a whole nother level. I love it. That'd be fantastic. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what any of those clues mean, but yeah, I can't wait to see where they go. That's a whole lot. Then Charles gets a call from Lester, like you said, about that window, and Mabel gets a text from Howard explaining how he didn't misspell his pet's name. And again, when did he find out that this animal's past job? Because he didn't know shit earlier. That's bugging the hell out of me. But luckily, he figured it out as our trio fly home to re-examine Charles' apartment. And Howard brings his cadaver dog back, and it's able to follow Saz's smell all the way down to the old incinerator. So, but again, how disgusting was that? Him putting his hands in there with no gloves. Like, you can grab some dish gloves, nothing before this? I get that he's in his feels about Saz, but oof.
I'm also calling a little bit of BS on the dog following the scent down there.
Why is that?
Because the ashes for one, but then again, I don't know how dogs react with ashes and following the scent there. It just seems weird.
I know that,
and I'd like to know how long ago this actually happened, because the scent would have to still be relatively fresh for the puppy to come in and pick it up. At least pick it up as quickly as it seemed to.
Yeah, I don't sift through dead people's ashes like I'm playing in a sandbox either. That is just nasty. I could not. That. You know they did that scene to gross us out.
There's no way to justify that. Yeah, exactly.
It was so wrong. I mean, that was beyond. Oh, what's up? Are we going to get our favorite detective back at some point this season since we're back in New York with another dead body? We have to.
I can neither confirm nor deny the validity of that statement.
Oh, I can't wait. She's got to come back. At least he had the wherewithal to like not touch his phone like when that text came in. Because I was just like, dude, like that would be the last straw. Like he had all that dead body on his fingers and he picked up his phone. Like there's no getting that off. Charles had text, "You're not Saz. Who are you?" The reply came back, "Not your fucking friend." Do we have any guesses on who that text came from, Phantom?
No clue.
No ideas whatsoever. What's up, AK? You have any guesses who's texting like that?
That's what feeds into my rogues gallery theory. So I'm thinking that there's a random section of QA9 that is dedicated strictly to them and causing problems for them. So yeah, that's what I think. I'm very much looking forward to see how that mystery unravels.
Yeah, I think we've seen the murderer yet, or no?
There's a lot of people in that pitch meeting, but I don't know why they would want to kill Saz. But Saz is from Hollywood and a lot going on, so yeah, definitely.
But Saz knew something based off the finale. She said she wanted to talk to Charles, but she couldn't get to. So
about something delicate. So what's something delicate? And yeah,
there's I'm trying to think. I don't want to say it because I don't think it's in this episode, and you guys haven't seen 2 yet. Yep. But I think I kind of have a theory on one of those. I don't know if you remember. Next week, DJ, please remind me of that, and I'll tell you my thoughts on it.
Definitely. So, what do we think of this opening episode, Phantom?
Spectacular, man. Spectacular. I was loving it, laughing, looking at every other clue. I'm like, okay, who did it? Which of the triplets did it?
Did it? Absolutely fantastic. How about you, AK? What do we think of this one?
Oh, well, it's absolutely great, 100%. And speaking of the triplets, we have another duo team here.
The brothers
that's working on this movie. Yeah, the daughter,
sisters,
the
brothers,
brother's daughter. Yeah,
the sisters, brothers.
So that
brothers,
could be something interesting that might pan out there as well as a parallel.
They look like a couple psychos to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, miss this show too. Yeah, I love this show. The wittiness.
100%.
Stay away from the dad jokes. Keep it witty, and I'm here 100% for it. Can't wait. Oh, but you already know we got a few trivia questions. Man, I knocked a couple of these down. So yeah, that we don't answer. If you're here now, you put them in the chat box. If you're watching later, put them in the comment section down below. See what we remember about this one. How long ago did Charles say motion pictures were created? Jake said he's going to go 100% on this one. He said he did.
He might be right because I only took one note and it was just a picture of something that I thought might come up. I didn't have time to write out full show notes.
Oh, anybody know? Put that in the chat box. How long ago did Charles say motion pictures were created? Over 100 years ago.
Was it? I was going to say a century or something, or like two centuries or something ago. Something like that.
Running. Oh, here's a little bit of a tough one. What did Oliver compare watching Charles open wine to?
Oh shoot!
No,
I remember that scene. And he did say something that was funny, but I forget.
What did Oliver say it was like watching Charles open the wine?
I got some.
Didn't they have something to do with puppies?
No. What's that, Phantom?
You got to write down every joke or something. Or reference.
Oh, it's just what we remember. Nothing too much.
Nothing too much, he says. Stop it.
Oh, we're going to give it to him. Said it was like walking into a Sharper Image catalog. Absolutely. We're going to give that one to him. What is Charles' last name?
Savage?
Hayden?
Correct.
Is it Savage?
Savage.
Forgot.
What apartment does Charles live in?
C.
Ooh, correct. Look at this.
I was thinking myself like, wow, your name is Charles and then like apartment C. That's like good from memory, I guess.
Nice. What is Howard's new dog's name?
Gravy with an E.
With an E. Isn't that just grave? Like the dad jokes,
and
they
cat
never end.
Was it Salvin or something? And then he says, oh, and the way how the dog sleeps on top of the cat or something. So it's like gravy on top of Sal. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, dude, someone take the dog away.
Exactly. Like, come on now.
Oh. What did Howard suggest his new podcast idea could be called?
Animal Jobs.
Yeah.
How long did Charles say Howard had owned his new pet?
For 2 hours.
2 hours.
Oh, for the whole 2 hours you've owned it? Oh, what does the picture in Charles' kitchen say?
Jake, that's you.
Sure. Yeah. Jake's got this one, I'm sure.
That's a deep cut. You had to be paying attention on that one. We got to keep some of them trying to keep. Oh, did he notice the one painting on the wall? What did it say? What did the spray painted sign on the balcony in the New York scene say?
Diversity.
It did. Oh, he said, I'm back. I noticed that one. You better believe it.
Fake New York.
Whose back end did Oliver say he once had a hot minute around?
Was it Robert Evans?
It was. It was
Julia. Andrews,
it was a. No, I think it was a guy. I don't remember the name though. And it's an. If I remember correctly, it's a known name.
It wasn't Julia Andrews. That wasn't that, or something else.
It was. I was waiting for Jake to answer before I confirmed it.
Was it Julie Andrews? Dude, I wonder what she's gonna say when she hears that joke.
Oh, she'll laugh her ass off. She's a fun one. Yep, absolutely. I knew Jake would get that. I was waiting for it. What number did Charles write down on the paper in the pitch meeting?
4.
Gotta keep the easy ones.
Even I was like,
Four.
what the hell?
And for what? And his
Oh,
dumbass even said that for. Well, let's discuss that for, bruh.
4,000,100. Are you kidding me?
Terrible.
4,000,100. It was so good. Oh, what was Charles' old limo driver's name?
That Sir Hackalung. I don't
Oh,
care what his
Sydney?
name is. He needs to
Ooh, nailed
retire.
Absolutely correct. Fandom bringing it home. What's the name of Saz's apartment complex?
No clue.
Yep, couldn't tell you.
What's up, Jake? Did you remember that one? What's the name of the apartment complex Charles used to live at that Saz lives at now? If you knew that one, put it in the chat. If you're watching later, put it in the comment section down below. He said Sid, absolutely correct.
Sunset Swan.
It was Sunset Swan. Nailed it. He said, I came prepared. He was not bullshitting. What, you guys only missed one? That's great. What movie project did Bev promise Zach that she'd greenlight to get him not to quit?
Oh, it was the one he said before the damn Spider-Man one because she knew that. No, you asking too much, bruh.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So,
I forget.
I didn't know that one because that's the only movie I didn't see. Like I saw Legally Blonde, saw Spider-Man. It's something with me, I think.
Wait, was it the Legally Blonde one?
No, that's the second movie he mentioned. I think that was the first one.
Random's all over it.
I just know it begins with an E.
So good.
Equilibrium.
Well, just
Equinox.
Jake's home.
Yeah. What's the movie, Jake?
Up, watch this. As soon as YouTube catches up to us,
Was it Elvis or something?
No.
Oh, bada boom, bada bing.
Equinox, Eternal. What? There's that. I'm trying to think of movies. I don't know. Hard to do that on the spot.
So
anyway,
good.
what's the next one? Some chick's name.
Some chick's name that starts with an
Oh,
E.
so yeah, some chick's name that starts with Evita. No, it wouldn't have been Evita.
Did he want to play a woman? Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, that's why I said Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
So then who he want to play in Spider-Man? At one point, I'm like,
he probably wanted to play Mary Jane or probably Gwen because Gwen actually got spider powers.
Yeah, or Shadowcat maybe.
Nah, Shadowcat wouldn't be the star. And he's a diva.
That's so funny. Oh, we got him on another one. Nice. You can't get them all. What disease did Eugene Levy say everybody was getting nowadays?
No clue.
Wasn't it something that had to do with the guy coughing? I don't know.
I guess technically, it could be just about anything. What disease did Eugene Levy say everybody?
Cancer.
That is incorrect. If you know that one, put it in the chat box down below. What's this? Jake, bring it home again. Sepsis. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Back on track. Here's one you'll get. Where did Saz say the best replacement joints came from?
Bulgaria?
I don't remember.
Bulgaria. Absolutely correct. How many times did Oliver say he had texted Loretta?
Twice.
It's like 5.
See what Jake guesses. Bring
Or
it back.
4. Or she texts back twice, but he texts more or something. Or cold. I don't know.
Absolutely correct. 5 times. I said
Was it 5? Ha, I got it right.
I said it earlier. 5 times. And yep, you're right, Phantom. He texted her twice, or she texted him back twice. Oh, 2 more, and we out of here. What word did Mabel think Howard was misspelling in his text?
Gravy.
Gravy, absolutely correct. And last but not least, how long did Charles say the opening of Once Upon a Time in the West went with only sounds and images?
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
7 minutes indeed. Nailing on a bang. Absolutely brought it home. What? I think we only missed 2 right there. Well done.
Dude, the one thing that I made note of was the cards during the end credits, and I'm very surprised you didn't ask any questions about that.
I was trying not. That's what I was telling Phantom before you got on in the back. I tried not to make it too hard where you had to like pause and like look at every little. Like I tried to make it where people could like answer them, where it was a little more obvious. Have a couple deep dives like the picture on the background, but even that, if you were noticing, there's only one painting. But yeah, there was a lot going on that desk. A lot. So what was the thing you brought out with cards?
Oh, it's just oh, shoot. Oh wait, hold on. Never mind. Scratch that. I think I'm gonna keep that picture though because I may need it for next week.
Episode 2. There you go. Yep. No spoilers.
Yeah. The credits poster for this one was the in-world movie poster.
Yeah, the poster.
If y'all noticed.
And then the bottom left was the beer we saw from last season. It's supposed to be good. So that's going to be some kind of clue, some way, somehow. Be interesting. Maybe whoever's we just saw that Eva Longoria is invested in tequila. So maybe the murder is going to have something to do being invested with that beer company. I do not know.
Oh, I think it's going to be a bit more vast than that. That just gave me some interesting thoughts, but I will wait until next week.
Bring it back. Absolutely. I'm watching number 2 in a few minutes. Oh, me too, Jake. When the giant tamer wakes up, she's going to watch 1, and then we're going to go right into episode 2. So we'll be watching that tonight and be back on track and kind of tentative. I guess we'll do that just this week and see what happens, see how it goes. So I guess we'll be on Thursday with episode 2. If not, we'll be on next Tuesday with episode 2 and just be a week off. That way everybody has time to watch it. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Play it by ear. I hope everybody out there, we're going to get out there. Any announcements you want to say out the door?
Tomorrow, me and Meeks, possibly Sphinx, we're going to be talking about Interview with the Vampire, season 1, episodes 1 and 2. So if you haven't watched, go catch up. And if you have, then come along for the ride. It's going to be fun. And because all roads always lead back to Thrones in our lives, because that's the thing that allowed a lot of us to meet, Grey Worm, if you didn't know, is playing the vampire Louis from the series. So check it out if you haven't already.
Absolutely. It's a good one. Giant Tamer, absolutely love that one. It was a good one. That is going to do it. I did just get AMC. Feel it. All right. So that's going to do it for us. Like I said, we'll probably be back on Thursday for episode 2, if not next Tuesday. But yeah, I'll probably be doing episode 2 on Thursday and then episode 3 on Tuesday and just keep this party going. So hope everybody out there is having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here till we see you on the next one. Be easy, everybody.